Okay. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Silitsa Tsilokwa from Lesotho. I'm the system librarian at the National University of Lesotho. Thank you for coming, and we are going to have some speakers online and in person. As you can see, we have the Minister of ICT, Honorable Ntati, and we have the Honorable Lekgotsa Mathete as our moderator, as the speaker on site, and we are going to have Dr. Tahleho Tseule, who is going to be online, and we are going to have PS, Principal Secretary, Mr. Kanono Ramashamuli. Basically, our session today is on advancing Lesotho's digital transformation through policies and practices. So what we are going to do here is just to share what the progress that we have done as a country, and the challenges, the opportunities, and also we want to collaborate with you in terms of the digitization and how to upgrade our understanding in the digital platforms. And also we just want to introduce you to Lesotho's national digital priorities, and present the country's policy direction through the digital transformation strategy, and with the recent initiatives that were done under the Lesotho ICT Ministry, and showcase the implementation example that we have done. Also encourage dialogue across sectors to bring together the government, academia, and development partners and civil society to reflect on the progress. We also want to explore institutional roles in digital ecosystems, and also wants to align with the global agenda, like the WISIS, and also how we can work together as the IGF also. Thank you so much. Let me welcome Honorable Ntati Morosi, the Minister of Information, Communication, Science and Technology and Innovation, to give us the keynote address. Thank you.
Thank you, Ndate Letsatsi, the moderator for this session. It is a great honor for me to be welcoming you all to the Lesotho session of the Internet Governance of 2025. We invited you here today to share our Lesotho digital transformation journey so that you can help us reflect on it, share experiences and best practices, and form partnerships that can help us create a meaningful and lasting impact for our people, Basotho as they are known. Our mission is clear. We want to build a connected, secure, inclusive and resilient Lesotho by 2030. Towards this mission, our national digital transformation strategy is the compass towards closing the digital divide, fostering innovation, and creating a society where every citizen can fully participate in the digital age. Ultimately, the Kingdom of Lesotho will see the increased economic growth, improved public services, and enhanced social inclusion. Urgent areas for digital transformation are payments, digital identity, connecting all government offices, including those in the rural and remote areas, as well as health centers and schools. The government of Lesotho started with digital payments of the social grants recently. To date, 60% of the elderly receive their monthly payments through the mobile money platforms. The aim is to transition all social assistance payments from cash to digital platforms as soon as possible for the convenience of the recipients. Our elderly, the orphans, people with disabilities, and indeed everyone, should not have to travel long distances to receive social grants or pensions. In addition to the inconvenience, the administrative costs associated with cash payments are significant. In 2024, the Ministry of Social Development reported that the monthly expenses for managing social grants exceeded the total amount disbursed in grants. This underscores the need for digital payment channels, which are more efficient, cost-effective, and indeed secure. In the education sector, we aim to ensure that all our schools are meaningfully connected by 2030. However, achieving the connectivity goal requires access to electricity. We must urgently address the electricity access gap to ensure that the remaining schools are all connected. The situation is similar for health sector, where we also aim to connect all of them across the country by 2030 still. While this is an ambitious goal for the government, we believe it is achievable through the right partnership and collaboration. Universal access is our foundation. With a goal of achieving 100% broadband coverage and at least 75% electricity access, we are expanding the infrastructure to reach even the most remote areas. Initiatives such as smart villages and improved off-grid solutions should help us achieve our goals. Lesotho licensed the first satellite service provider recently, Starlink, and with that, we hope to address connectivity challenges that are compounded by the fact that Lesotho is a mountainous country and therefore difficult to achieve 100% coverage through the traditional base transceiver stations systems. We believe that for locations that are remote and challenging, the satellite will provide the much needed coverage, thereby leaving no area in the country behind. While access is critical, it is not enough. We are working to secure digital rights through legislation on cybersecurity and data protection and electronic transactions. The cybersecurity bill is currently being redrafted following the feedback we received from several stakeholders and the relevant parliamentary portfolio committee. We are also developing a national cybersecurity strategy to create a safe and trusted digital environment for all Basotho Nation. Digital literacy is key for inclusion. Today, just 30% of our people have basic ICT skills. We are changing that by investing in digital education, teacher training, and industry partnerships, ensuring all learners, especially women, youth, and underserved populations are equipped to thrive. We are equally focusing on fostering e-commerce. Our top priority is creating an environment where young people can seize the opportunities offered by the digital economy, equipping them with the tools and resources to succeed. Basotho youth can tap into diverse remote work opportunities across freelancing, digital marketing, online tutoring, and other e-commerce activities, IT, customer support, creative industries, provided they have access to reliable internet, digital devices, relevant training, affordable data, and fostering their ability to engage with global markets and drive economic empowerment. The missing link currently is to map all the addresses digitally to ensure that all citizens are found on the digital map. And that is one of the key requirements for digital identity and key enabler for e-commerce. It is important for me to mention that we recognize that transformation cannot happen in isolation. Hence the hosting of this session today, which is a reflection of our whole of society approach, government, private sector, civil society, and all of you, global partners, working together with us. To those of you here today with us, we extend a hand of collaboration. Help us turn this strategy into impact. We seek partnerships to build the infrastructure that will close the digital divide and unlock opportunities for every Mosotho, from mountainous villages to the capital classrooms and marketplaces. With your expertise, your investment, your shared commitment, we can strengthen connectivity bolster cybersecurity, foster skills, and grow an innovation ecosystem that benefits all. Let us walk forward together towards a digitally empowered Lesotho where no one is left behind. Thank you very much. Ke a leboga.
Thank you so much, Minister Ntati, and we thank you so much for the well-resourced presentation and keynote address. And now we are going to Mr. Kanono Ramashamole, who is going to give us the Lesotho digital policies and the initiatives. Specifically, he's going to focus on the ICT policies that we are on and what we want to achieve in the future. So, Mr. Kanono, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ndati Foa. Let me start by recognizing the presence of the honorable ministers and the distinguished guests that have joined this session. From the ministers, let me start by just making a few comments on the ministers' remarks. She talked about the need to drive digital public infrastructure as our approach towards digital transformation. She also mentioned the issue of e-commerce. We all know that Lesotho has a big challenge with youth unemployment, and we believe digital transformation will provide some solutions to these challenges. You asked me to elaborate on the policies that we are putting in place, but let me just start with our digital transformation strategy. Our digital transformation strategy is anchored on 5 pillars. The first pillar being the enabling environment, where we define the policies and the legislations and the regulations that are required to drive digital transformation. The second one is the digital government. Digital government, this is where we have actually taken the decision to drive it through DPI approach. I just walked out of another session on DPI, where we're actually discussing where we are as a country and the challenges we are facing. The minister is right to say we are looking for partners to assist us walk this journey. The other pillar, the third one, is the digital infrastructure. Yeah, the minister mentioned that we recently licensed the satellite service provider to improve our connectivity in the country. We are proud to say we now have 100% broadband coverage in Lesotho, but there are still challenges regarding affordability and also access to devices. The fourth one is digital population. Now, this is where we are saying, in order to make sure that we drive inclusion, we have to make sure that people are adequately skilled at all levels, from the basic level to advanced level in digital skills. The last one is the digital population, rather digital business. This is now where we think we have the potential to actually change the lives of our people through digital. And we may know that the African Union some time back endorsed what is now a mature framework for free trade in Africa, which is Africa Continental Free Trade Area. I think 2 years ago, the heads of state endorsed the protocol on digital trade. We view as Lesotho that the implementation of this protocol lies solely on implementation of DPI. We believe DPI can implement the digital protocol at scale and securely using DPIs. I'll now go straight to my second slide after just giving this brief introduction, just to share what we have done so far and what we hope to achieve in the next 3 to 4 years. Let me try to move to the next slide.
Mr. Kanono, are you okay? Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Here it is. Okay. So far, we have been fortunate that the cabinet has approved the National Digital Transformation Strategy. We are also organizing the way we do ICT in the country, and in particular within the government. We have completed the ICT governance framework. We have also signed the DPI pilot with MOSIP. We are at the very early stages. Just a few weeks ago, we approved it, the technical solution. We'll be moving to the second phase of validating data and setting up the hardware for sandboxes required. We are also on the verge of signing the MOU that was approved by the cabinet with our counter ministry in India, the Ministry of Electronics and ICT. We have also developed and validated a couple of policies, artificial intelligence policy, data management policy, and the broadband and infrastructure sharing policy. 2 weeks ago, we also conducted a DPI awareness workshop. So these are the things we have done so far. We are currently working on a number of initiatives that will help us accelerate our digital transformation. The first one, we will be upgrading the government data network very soon. I'm expecting the contract to be concluded early next week. We have also started using our data center that had remained dormant for many years. We currently have 2 services running in the data center. Like I mentioned, the MOSIP pilot is in progress. We are also working on the digital literacy programs through our Universal Service Fund, where we are giving digital skills to the teachers, and we hope the teachers will teach the children will teach their parents. We are also completing the contract for a consultant to help us with the enterprise architecture and interoperability framework. Because in order to implement e-commerce, not only in Lesotho, but across the border, we need data exchange platform and framework that are robust. We hope in the third quarter of this year, we'll expand connectivity to the councils and the DA's office, because remember I said we still have that challenge of accessibility of connectivity, even though we have 100%. So the councils and the schools will be our platform for people who don't have devices to be able to access internet and ultimately the government services. We are also working on the government e-services platform, where we'll now start building services. We are also working with the Ministry of Education on Giga project. It is moving ahead as planned. We'll be doing the Giga mapping and financing model. This will also be complemented by our efforts through the Universal Service Fund. We hope that by the end of the financial year, we will have the cybersecurity bills approved by the Parliament. Then we'll be able to move to the development of our national cyber security strategy. We are also working with the Ministry of Home Affairs to review the current Protection of Personal Data Act. We are also working with African Union and GIZ to ensure that we have a very solid data governance policy. We have a number of initiatives that we want to start as early as possible. If you can see on my slide there, we have the development of government digital blueprints. We are fortunate that this initiative has actually moved up because with the help of European Union, we'll be able to start working on this initiative, I think in 6 weeks, with the government of Estonia. The EU is making arrangements for our team to have the workshop in Estonia in 6 weeks. We are also on the infrastructure working on the expansion of our fiber infrastructure, as the minister said. We also plan to accelerate the connectivity to the health clinics and other government offices. If you can see on the slide here towards the end, especially if you can look for DPI for cross-border. We are talking with the countries in the region, in the SADC region. Preferably, we'll start with South Africa to start testing cross-border ID verification and data exchange. We believe this initiative will enable the two governments to implement some of the decisions that were made during the BNC earlier this year. The minister mentioned the national addressing system. We are also moving this one up, not in the 2026. We'll probably start working on it towards the end of this year or early next year. The office of the CDO and the implementing of the digital agency, we are also concluding the contract with the consultant, because this is the agency that will now be focused on the digital transformation. At the moment, we are doing all these efforts within the ministry, which is a bit difficult for us, because as the ministry we deal with a lot of issues. So we think this agency that is focused on digital transformation will move at a faster pace than what we are currently doing. And then we'll be also looking at other satellite application. We have the MOUs with other countries that we want to pursue in terms of satellite applications. As you can see, there's a lot in our plate, as the minister said. We need a lot of partners to walk this journey with us. Thank you, Ndatelokgolo.
Thank you so much, Ndate PS. And this is really exciting to see that the government of Lesotho is doing well. And we are hoping to work with other countries and with other partners. And as the IGF said, our theme is on multi-stakeholder engagement. That says we are trying to find a way to work together as the country, because we can't work together. And once we are working in silos, we are not going to achieve more. But when we are working together, we are going to achieve more. But as the minister and the PS said, most of the time they were focusing on digitization in the communities, the ministerial offices also. But now we are going to focus on the digitization of the parliament. As Lesotho, we want our parliamentarian to be digitalized and be skilled in digitization. So, Mr. Lekgotsa Mafete, Honorable Lekgotsa Mafete, may you come and share about the progress on the digital transformation of the Parliament of Lesotho. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Mr. Letsatsi, and hi everybody who's available. My Honourable Minister, thank you for letting me be a part of this panel today. As it has been said, my name is Honourable Lekgotsa Mafete, Member of Parliament from Lesotho, and a member of a committee called Prime Minister's Ministries in the National Assembly, and a member of APNIC. So today, through you, Mr. Moderator, by the way, I think everybody should take note that this Lesotho right now, we're busy trying to engage as much youth as possible to ensure that what we have currently in policies and what we try to create, we bridge such boundaries where we now start engaging with youth as opposed to giving youth. So now youth are quite a lot part of this. So to the ministry, big ups to you for such an engagement. My first topic right now is on digital parliament processes. The objectives, it is to digitize Lesotho's National Assembly, to make it paperless by placing on papers bills put forth by members of the National Assembly through committees, bills brought from government ministries, private members' bills, and those by public participation, and to give the public access to the same bills digitally. There's abilities and possibilities to the digitization of Parliament, which quite notably currently it is to provide access to MPs to participate either in the physical form in the National Assembly or with any mobile suitable device from anywhere in the world. The Ministry of Communications has also committed to initiate a live streaming link for Parliament proceedings to be made available through its sessions through a dedicated web page and other social media tools like YouTube, Facebook, and others that might be. Recording and archiving sessions through a digital library. To provide a voting button to use remotely by MPs from any location. And to develop a leg register for MPs for parliamentary sessions attendance in-house. And by the way, today's session is a true testament of the digital transformation that the Ministry of Communications has taken, that we are being broadcast today live in our country where there's no journalist around, but rather through a coordination of the national broadcasting entity, including the IGF Secretariat, the UN, and the government of Norway. So it's, for us, it's actually quite a pleasure to say we've done a part that is noticeable today for all to see. On second note, it's the Parliament legal frameworks. as the Minister of Communications had highlighted in one of her sessions the other day, and the PS has just noted that there's a policy in place, an AI policy in place, which now it would be ideal for the ministry to bring it to Parliament so that we can discuss and bring about a bill to it. Then in itself, it would open up a door for tech enthusiasts to start the exploration of building AI-supported technology without any form of doubt. Now, there's one challenge that we really need to go through, because now when we're talking about digitization, we're talking about AI, we're talking about control measures that are supposed to be put in place, more especially because now it's now in a different landscape altogether. So which is our cybersecurity bill and computer crimes bill. Through multi-stakeholder engagements from both the media fraternities, human rights groups, civil society, and government ministries, our committee, the Prime Minister's Ministry Committees, has realized that we need to unbound both bills and let each bill have its own policies and merits on its own side, so that we can define with ease each own merits for public consumptions without the other overshadowing the other. That will still be an initiative that the ministry and all the other stakeholders, I believe that they're still busy or preparing to engage, so that we can get at least 1 bill in the House to go through in this financial year. And in conclusion, to my fellow MPs present in Norway for the IGF, my fellow Basotho countrymen, Africans at large, and the other citizens from across the globe as a whole, it is quite essentially important for us to realize that human intervention and AI, I believe, should coexist for generations to come, since neither can operate without the other. It will not be an ideal situation where interoperability is left out of the equation by both machine and man, as might be a perception for many. And to you, Celine, and the UN Secretariat at large, we always see you smile. Thank you for such an opportunity of putting us on such a big stage, whereby we're able to put out what Lesotho has achieved through your help, UN, and every other entities that has been there and a friend to our country. And to the Norwegian government, I'd like to thank you for the hospitality and the ever-shining bright skies that shine even at night. We thank you for being here. Thank
you so much, Honorable Mathete, and indeed, this is a good platform for you as a parliamentarian to show the importance of being a parliamentarian. And you just removed the perception about the being a parliamentarian, and we can see that you are a well-resourced parliamentarian who we think we trust you that you will drive the Parliament of Lesotho to the better future. Thank you so much. And now we are going to move to the roadmap, where we want to go. Mentabi saying she's a Minister of ICT advisor, and she is one of our resource in the country in terms of the digitization. She's going to share about the digital transformation strategy, where we want to go, the Agenda 2030, and we know that the IGF itself, it is focusing on the SDGs and what we want to achieve in the next 5 years. We have just moved from the last 20 years, but now we want to say in the next 5 years, where are we going? Mentabi saying, thank you. Don't touch. You can speak.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. My name is Nthabise Mpule, as explained, and I'm going to just run through what the United Nations system in Lesotho is assisting the ministry's journey on the digital transformation. I am specifically sitting within UNDP, so I will focus mostly on what UNDP is doing. What is currently engaging the ministry's team mostly is the development of digital skills, the assessment of the youth, the women, and people living under vulnerable conditions. The study that we concluded found that most women are not digitally skilled compared to men. So we have a gender digital skills gap that must be addressed. To do that, the UNDP and the government are partnering to set up training centers in villages. We have identified 40 villages where we can pilot this approach, where we place one digital champion in a village of those 40 villages, and they will every single day get to work to impart skills to the community, focusing in the populations of interest, which is women, youth, and people with disabilities. We have also noticed that we are doing work that we have not baselined. Instead of being pedantic and try to start with the baseline, we started with the work. Then we will refine and do a digital readiness assessment in the coming months, because the low capacity that we are operating under demands that we be pragmatic. We may not always do things by the book, but work has to be done, and that is what we are doing. We had the Principal Secretary talk about the challenges with access to electricity. UNDP and other partners are working on addressing the issue of electricity. 10 mini-grids have been built in 5 districts to serve 10,000 households. That has been accomplished, but that just puts a dent in the access gap that we have in Lesotho as far as electricity. Currently, efforts are underway to scale up the access to electricity with also partners from the EU and other agencies. But the aim is to still have the 75% of the population at least connected to the electricity by 2030. In conversations with the Ministry of Energy, we have agreed that 75% may be not ambitious enough, and we have tentatively agreed with them that while 75% will not be removed from the books, the target will be 100% on our minds. Now, where the most challenge lies is with the skills. The technical skills of people who have to implement these projects need boosting. Also, this needs financing. When I was talking about the training of youth and women in the villages, the reason we are starting with 40 sites instead of the entire country is because that project has to be funded, and the current funding confines us to that number of 40 instead of the entire population. But if we are talking about an entire population where 14% have what we call moderate skills, and the majority have very low skills, you can understand the magnitude of the problem. But we are not deterred. We are working on this. It's our mission every single day to make it better for Basotho. So I will just conclude by emphasizing the areas where support is needed. The technical infrastructure needs to be improved. We're talking here about access to devices. We're talking about data centers. We're talking about the networks themselves. We are also talking about, as I have indicated, having a digitally proficient workforce. Within government, if we are transforming, it means every government or every public servant has to be sufficiently proficient in using digital channels to do their work, to deliver services, or to access government services themselves. We are also talking about the readiness of the entire population. If government is going to be delivering services online, it means the entire population must be ready to receive those services through those channels. So the call to action here is for those willing and with the means to partner with us in delivering the digital vision of Lesotho. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mentawiseng, and we really appreciate about the progress that is done by the country and the vision for the country in terms of digitization. And we hope that the government of Lesotho will work together with other organizations, other countries, because sometimes you also need to benchmark on what other countries are doing and also to learn from other countries. So now, and I think we are going to come to the end of our discussion, but now we are going to allow questions and comments from the floor. Okay, thanks so much. Yeah,
I hope you can hear me.
yeah.
Sorry, good afternoon to everybody. My name is Abdul Karim. I'm a professor of wireless telecommunications from University of Ilorin in Nigeria. Let me start by, first of all, commending the panelists, from the Honorable Minister to everybody that spoke on those wonderful presentation. I have about 2 questions. The first one is, we need to benchmark in what we're doing, and we need to understand some of the things you guys are doing well so that some of us from other parts of Africa can actually emulate. I know Lesotho is a landlocked country, and when you were talking about telecom infrastructure, you never said anything about challenges in terms of access to telecoms, bringing in telecommunication services in a landlocked country, especially when it comes to like fiber, or how do you get connections to the Atlantic cable. That's number 1. Then number 2 is on the Giga project. I know the Giga project is one of the ITU initiatives. Can you share with us the successes of the Giga project? Because a lot of African countries want to actually key into the Giga project, but we also want to learn from those that are already into the Giga project, that how is this Giga project been improving the life of ordinary people or people of Africa? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for those questions. Okay. You can, okay.
Okay, I'll just start with the question on the connectivity. How do we get connectivity when we are landlocked? Thank you for that question. Lesotho is a shareholder in the Wayok submarine cable. When the cable came on, for a few years, even though we're a shareholder, we didn't have the service landing in the country because we are landlocked, and some agreements had to be established with service providers in South Africa to enable us to eventually have the service in Lesotho. Now, through bilateral agreements, as indicated, we are able to get transit through South Africa to wherever we need to get to. But for us, satellite is still an important option, so that whenever there's a problem with the terrestrial cables, we can still have connectivity to the rest of the world. For that to happen smoothly, we have set up an internet exchange point within the country to ensure that at least local traffic can stay local even if we have problems. So among what we consider critical internet infrastructure in Lesotho is the exchange point. For that specific reason, we are landlocked, and if ever we lose connectivity on the terrestrial links through the other country, it is not up to us to speed up any kind of faults on the other side of the border, but we depend on our neighbors to do that. And at least we should be able to communicate locally, even if not internationally, but satellite now comes to the rescue. That's as far as the question of connectivity goes. It hasn't been easy. It remains difficult, but it's doable with collaborations with the neighbors. Thank you.
The project office.
I'll attempt to answer the question on the Giga project, and to just say that through the support of UNICEF, we are only starting to implement the Giga project. If you look at the map of the schools that are connected through the Giga project, there are very few because we are just at the beginning. But over and above the Giga project, we also have Universal Service Fund, which is also connecting schools. We started with 20 schools last year. We are going to be rolling out 20 schools every 6 months or every year, depending on the budget that is available. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayor Ntati and Mayor Ntabiseng. Celine?
Thank you very much. So my name is Celine Bal from the IGF Secretariat. It's an honor, Honorable Mohozi, to have you part of this panel, and also for the second time of the IGF, and also through the rest of the panel, and also to Mr. Ramashamole, who is online. So thank you so much for also providing an overview of the different strategies, let it be from the ministry and also from the Parliament and the UNDP collaboration. So it's perhaps more a comment than a question, but I really wanted to let you know that the IGF Secretariat has a vast pool of network. And because you're doing this call for partnerships, I really want you to know that you can reach out to us depending on the kind of support that is required, and we can also connect you with the different stakeholders that are also part of our forum since quite some years, and are really interested and willing to work together with the different ministries. And also perhaps interesting for you, because you're mentioning the DPI. There is a colleague here who will be organizing later this afternoon from 4:15 to 17, so to 5 p.m., a session on DPI mapping stakeholders. So perhaps this could be also a very interesting initiative to get to know some other DPI related. Exactly. So this is basically just my comment. And one last question also perhaps to Honorable Mafete. You've mentioned the initiatives that are going on in the Parliament, and to what extent are you actually collaborating also with other members of parliaments and parliaments around the region to see what are good practices, what can you take on from others, what are practices that did not work so well? So to what extent are you actually collaborating across borders? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Celine, and thank you for the comments and the suggestion. And Mr. Mafete, just 30 seconds.
Thank you, Celine, for the question put forth on the collaboration with other members of Parliament and what we're achieving. I think in my case, speaking for myself quite right now, is that through APNIG, through the Internet School of Governance, School of Internet Governance, and through the IGF, we've been able to learn quite a lot, and to mostly in policy formulations, where we're now able to get ministries in-house, and we're able to actually give them what the world is doing, so that the government ministries can push further afield as compared to where they were in the past. So I think in my case is better communication, better implementation. As I said, we're seeing changes today as opposed to last year when we're sitting on such a platform. We weren't able to give out as much information as we're able to. But now, through such initiatives, we've learned a lot. We've been able to actually give out a lot to fellow government employees who have not been had an opportunity to come here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mafete. Thank you so much. Yes, Togo.
Good afternoon. My name is Tokomia. I'm from South Africa. And I serve on South Africa's Internet Governance Forum as well, Multi-Stakeholder Committee. For me, I'm also a representative of the civil society. We have a skills institution, technology skills institution in South Africa that's predominantly working with women and girls from rural and underserved, underconnected areas, so your townships and your Cape Flats areas like this. So from my perspective, I really curious because I know, Honorable, you mentioned the project you have with the ambassadors in rural areas and the skills and the teaching. I was hoping that you can highlight some more frameworks that you're using and that one in being able to bridge the connectivity gap, number one, especially where youth are concerned, in providing them affordable access, affordable connectivity, and then also, again, in terms of the skills, and also whether you are able or open to collaboration around these particular activities and engagements. How can we as SDPs and SA connect with you?
Thanks so much, Togo and
Okay, I think Togo, you are already raising up your hand to collaborate with us in upskilling our women, whom Mayor Tabiseng said eloquently that the biggest gap is with women, gender disparity that we need to close. And just to say that we would like to learn more from you on the skills institution for women. It's something that we can easily emulate. South Africa is our neighbor. We can learn from you easily. We would like to share more on that. The other questions, I think Mentor is saying you want to maybe talk to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll talk to the question of connectivity, affordability of connectivity for youth. Youth is a large spectrum. Some of them are still in school, some are out of school. The ones still in school get discounted vouchers from the mobile network operators for mobile internet access. These agreements are done between the Ministry of Education and the service providers. What happens is every student, when they go to buy their data, there's some identification that they use to, so that it can be known that they are that category and they can get discounted airtime data. But for the rest of the youth, we are still scratching our heads to say, how do we make sure that other youth, the youth out of school, have equal access to digital connectivity? And it's not just about the data, it's also about the devices. Youth need the devices. I'll give an example. Last year when we were having the local IGF organized, we had some demonstrating, and through conversations with them, how they managed to develop the system, and you look at their laptop, you see that it has arrived at its end of life. And you wish they could get another one, and you're like, when are you getting a new laptop? This one is no longer fit. And they say, even this one is borrowed. I definitely, to be productive, I need a new laptop, but how I get it, I do not know. So those are the kind of questions that we are grappling with. How do we ensure that youth who would otherwise be productive have access to devices? We can negotiate airtime for them, but how do they get the devices? It's a big question for us, because in our last study, 2023 household study assessing access to devices, less than 5% of the population have access to a laptop. Okay. And that includes youth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayor Tabiseng. She can speak the whole day, and I think you can catch her after the session. Okay. First of all, we need to thank the IGF Secretariat, everyone who is in here. You're all champions, and we are ready to work with you as the country, Lesotho. Because Lesotho, we are saying Senyamo. And that says we want you to come together as a country to say, let's come together and work together. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much.